When the only constant in life is change, you need to be ready. This is the Man-Made Survival Show.
Hello everybody, my name is Jose Pro Man-Made Survival, and thank you so much for coming back to the channel and watching this video. I encourage you to like this video, leave a comment, or subscribe. I greatly appreciate it if you do so, because this information is very, very important, especially for preppers. So if you're a prepper, listen up, because this information is very, very important. But before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and give you the number for the coronavirus, which is 1,714 in the United States with 41 deaths. So we know that Trump is going to give a press conference today. And what they have said out of the White House is that they're going to announce that Trump is going to declare a state of emergency for the entire nation. So we'll see how that goes and whatever else he says. But as far as this video goes, we're going to talk about war, or possible war. U.S. nukes reportedly delivered to Poland. This from Zero Hedge. An official in the Air Mobility Command who wishes to remain anonymous said that the nuclear ammunition had already been delivered to Katowice, Poland in early March 2020. In this way, the tensions are to rise in Europe. The biggest U.S. maneuver in Europe, more nukes. That can provoke reaction from Russia. Moscow had already warned the Russian government will take responsive measures to an upcoming massive U.S. military deployment and U.S.-led exercise across multiple European states bordering Russia. Russia cannot ignore these processes, which are of great concern, and stated that they will respond in such a way that does not create unnecessary risk. It's worth noting that everything that Russia do in response to the threats created by NATO members to its security do exclusively on its own territory, just like all Russian nuclear weapons are on its own territory, unlike American nuclear weapons. And we know the American nuclear weapons are all over Europe, bordering Russia. So Russia does not like it when we have exercises so close to their border, because we can just flip the switch and go live and invade Russia. That's the way they would see it. Even though we have so many nukes very close to them, they can also launch nukes that would strike us. And let's not forget, they have the hypersonic missile, and that's something that we don't have a defense against. And they would send a nuke here very, very quickly. And not only that, they also already showed us the ways that would attack us if they were ever to go to war against us. And let's also not forget that they have gotten their people ready by doing exercises on what to do if there was ever a nuclear strike against Russia, which is something that we have not done here in the United States. And if you talk about it, or, if you say that you want to prepare for something like that, they look at you like you're crazy. But anyways, and I understand that if we go to war against Russia and we exchange nukes, we're both going to be devastated. There's no question about it. And both nations are on hair triggers. And as I reported on the other video of war against Russia, NATO has said that they want to have a flexible first strike. And Russia has also a first strike. So all the people that have the finger, the trigger finger on the nuclear bombs, they want to do a first strike. I guess it'll depend on who is successful in launching the very first attack. But anyways, that takes me to the next headline, because the accusations that are coming out of China are very, very serious, even though they're very stupid, or at least right now they sound very stupid. It doesn't really matter. What matters is what the people holding the trigger think, right? So here's the first one. U.S. Army behind COVID-19 in Wuhan. China's foreign minister levels bombastic charge. This from Zero Hedge. A truly bombshell of unprecedented accusations, underscoring that if Sino-U.S. relationships amid the border crisis weren't already bad enough, they're about to crash much, much lower. China's foreign minister spokesman tweets, "It might be the U.S. Army who brought the epidemic to Wuhan, the widely acknowledged epicenter and origin point of the COVID-19 pandemic. Such shock allegations have recently been swirling in the foreign media, especially in Chinese, Iranian, and Russian press. However, this is the first time such a high Beijing official has leveled the charge. This after President Trump controversially referred to it as a foreign virus. Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lixian made the remarks on his official Twitter account Thursday, citing prior televised testimony by CDC Director Robert Redfield to the House Oversight Committee. So that was the first round of accusations, right? And China, Iran, China, Iran, and Russia are the ones that are, kind of pushing this. And like I said, even though it sounds ridiculous, because let's say that they did. The United States did release the virus in Wuhan. Well, now we have it here, so we pretty much shoot ourselves on the head or shoots ourselves on the foot, especially with the stock market falling so far. And, pretty much it's going to cripple our economy. It might send us into a very deep recession, probably worse than the Great Depression. So if the United States actually did that, then that was a really bad move, especially the way that they're acting, not quarantining people properly, not having the test. So that's why I say it's a stupid allegation or, an accusation. But like I said, it doesn't really matter what we think. It matters what the people holding the trigger finger on the nuclear bombs think. Here's the next headline. Iranian, Russian, Chinese media push COVID-19 bioweapon conspiracies. This from DefenseOne.com. Chinese authorities maintain that COVID-19 likely originated in the market in Wuhan, where people were selling bat meat. But Iran, Russian, and Chinese propaganda media outlets would like you to believe, without evidence, that the emerging public health crisis comes from the U.S. biological weapons. This information about the coronavirus is spreading as quickly as the outbreak, fueled by Iranian, Russian, and Chinese government-backed campaign blaming and attacking the United States on the source of the scourge. And even though Iran is not really a big threat, they do have an EMP weapon, which that will cripple us in a very big way. So even though Russia and China have more advanced technology and militaries, Iran should also be something to be not super concerned about. But if they ever were successful to deliver an EMP, it would be a devastating event in the United States. And now that I said those two things, it takes me to this third one, which would really send us into World War III very, very quickly. More quickly than us putting nukes on Russia's border. And here it is. China threatens to withhold all medical exports. The United States will fall into the hell of a coronavirus epidemic. This from the organicprepper.com. If China retaliates against the United States at this time, in addition to announcing travel ban to the United States, it will also announce a strategic control over medical products and ban exports to the United States. Then the United States will be caught in an ocean of new corona. Then the United States will be caught in the ocean of a new crown viruses. According to the U.S. CDC officials, most masks in the United States are made in China and imported from China. If China bans the export of masks to the United States will fall into the mask shortages, and the most basic measures to prevent the new crown virus can't do it. And the most basic measures to prevent the new crown virus can't do it. I don't know, I guess typo. Also, according to the U.S. CDC official, most of the drugs in the United States are imported, and some drugs are imported from Europe. However, Europe also places the production base of these drugs in China, so more than 90% of the U.S. imported drugs are related to China. The implication is that at this time, as long as China announces that its drugs are as domestic as possible and ban exports, the United States will fall into the hell of the new crown pneumonia epidemic. So there you have it. That could send us into war very quickly. I mean, the United States may want to put sanctions and try to do everything they can to try to get China not to do those things, but ultimately it could lead us into war. Because if we need this, if they have the stuff we need and if we can't have it, the United States will go over there and take it. I mean, that's what we've always done in the Middle East. But Russia and China are friends, and they'll back each other. So going against Russia and China is going to be very, very difficult. So it's something to consider and something to watch out for. I'm not saying we're going to war tomorrow, but if those things happen, it could very well take us into World War III very quickly. So not only will we be dealing with the virus, we could also be dealing with a nuclear exchange. So that's something to really get ready for, prepare for, you know. But anyways, thank you so much for coming back to the channel and watching this video. Please like this video. Please share it because this information is important. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And like I've always said, always ready.
The Man-Made Survival Show.